Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I think we'll kick off just now. Um, Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I have such an interesting webinar lined up for you all. I'll be jumping into that in just a minute. A few things of housekeeping before we do get started. So the webinar should last about an hour, so finishing up in just under the hour here. It is going to be recorded, so if you missed anything during the webinar or you want to watch it again or you want to share it with a colleague or a friend, you'll be sent the recording either later today or first thing tomorrow morning, depending on how long it takes us to upload it. There'll be a Q&A section in the middle and at the end. So we've got Alex will be joining us and he'll be doing a fantastic demo. We'll be taking questions halfway through, so you can throw them into the Q&A section, and then also towards the end, so you can kind of save your questions, maybe save your more general questions for the end. And yeah, like I said, the recording is going to be sent out to you. And of course, there'll be a little feedback survey in there as well, if you wouldn't mind filling out some feedback. So today, we'll be talking about using artificial intelligence or AI in your NoCode app. It's been quite a year. It's a great way to kick off this webinar. You know, just over a year ago, that ChatGPT kind of changed the way we all interact with our computers. So today I'm joined by Alex. I'm going to try it, Vishnevsky. Today, who he's from Sonrous Consulting, one of Noloco's expert partners. They've been working with Noloco for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, the OGs perhaps. And he's done some incredible things with AI, I know, in multiple different client solutions that he's delivered. So today he's going to demo one of those solutions, or one of the ones he's been working on most recently. Before I hand over to Alex for a quick intro, my name is Darragh Mc Kay. If you don't know me, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Noloco. And for anyone that might not know what Noloco is, although I recognize most of the names here, but anyone who doesn't know what Noloco is, we are a no-code platform that turns business data into business apps. So you can build things like client portals, internal tools, custom CRMs from your data, whether you want to upload that data from a CSV, think of something like Airtable or Google Sheets, or whether, I don't know, you've got somewhere else. We make it the easiest way to build an app from that. And like I said, Alex has been doing this for clients of all different sizes for the last 2 years. So Alex, do you want to give a quick intro
Yeah,
to yourself and Sonrous?
sure. So hi everybody. My name is Alex, and just like the song goes, you can call me Al. But yeah, and I'm the founder of Sonrous. We specialize in anything and everything low code, but I think our favorite platforms by far have been, well, Noloco obviously, but typically Airtable, other platforms like AppSheet, for like more ERP sort of style of implementations. But ultimately, we do a lot of automation. Very rarely do clients typically, just stick to one sort of database. There's multiple apps in the ecosystem. So yeah, we've been um, historically the last 5 6 years doing a lot of work in connecting data, processing it, and showing somewhere. So Noloco has been a fantastic partner in that respect, creating
Yeah.
portals, a secure portal. So yeah, that's roughly us. We are based in uh, well, Cyprus, Greece. That's our main hubs. Um, but yeah, clients around the world. So loads of different
Yeah.
funky projects going on.
For sure. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, like honestly, very interesting projects will come out of Sonora. So we'll give you another chance to plug what you guys do towards the end. I guess before moving on, we're going to jump into Alex's demo in just a bit moment. Let me set the scene for you all. So in, I guess, when was that? During the summer in July or so, we rolled out it was hard to avoid the hype. So we rolled out AI workflow actions in Noloco's workflows. So if you don't know what our workflows are, they allow you to basically create automated sequences of actions based on when a record updates, gets created or deleted, or when an action button is pressed. We call them on-demand workflows. So we integrated with ChatGPT like everybody else in the world did, and it has created an amazing opportunity and amazing ways to automate different parts of your app. And then as well, obviously our workflows also allow you to reach out to automation solutions like Make and Zapier, which of course unlock a massive world of more complex automations. And that's what Alex is going to be kind of showing you today, how you can tie our native ChatGPT actions into your workflows, and how you can integrate as well with something more complicated like Make, and then tie that back into an interface built in Noloco, and how AI workflows can kind of save you, I don't know, hundreds of hours, presumably. The stuff you're about to show is actually, it's so impressive. When you showed me yesterday, I was mind blown. So, Alex, why don't you give I've already given a kind of overview of the scene. Why don't you kind of tell us what you're doing today?
Okay, cool. So generally speaking, we're not going to be focusing much on the bread and butter stuff that most people know, like, oh, create a summary of this text, or that sort of typical use case. Because we work a lot behind the scenes. What ChatGPT has allowed us to do is to have almost like a human in the loop when data travel between systems. Um, Also, it's fair to say that ChatGPT, from its infancy a year and a half ago, it only had a brain and some hands and it could type. Nowadays, there's Whisper, so it could talk. Uh, and lately, a month or so ago, also had to see, and I'm talking about vision. So today's demo, I've kind of split it into my top 3 favorite use cases. They are very common for our clients because everybody, at least in our case, deals with some kind of document. Doesn't have to be super duper structured. It could be a document that's like a pitch deck. It could be a CV. It could be a contract. It could be anything. So we're going to be using Vision to process PDF and extract data out of them. The angle that I've chosen is recruitment. So recruitment has got a lot of interesting manual or traditionally manual processes where you need to review a CV, you need to be able to match the correct people to the correct jobs. And also, ideally, you want to be able to automatically tag the right people with the right tag, the right candidates with the right. So yeah, let's start things off. First and foremost, we're gonna ingest a CV. That's one of the most basic things I think that we can take a look at. And
Yeah.
Darragh can
While
share.
Alex is pulling up his demo. So, like he said, there,
Darragh
we're
can't
looking
share.
at it. Oh, you can't share.
No.
All right, we'll have to sort that out. Hang on one moment. Panelists, more. Could just make you a host. Make a co-host. I'm sure you can do that now. Right now?
Excellent.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Darragh, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was just gonna try to fill the time while you were getting screen sharing. But all I was saying really is that, so Alex is going to be looking at an applicant tracking system. So while this might not suit, be relevant to every single person, I think we can all agree we'd probably all do a lot of document extraction or data extraction from in our day-to-day jobs, I suppose. And we also kind of do a lot of document matching and other things. So while this might not be exactly what you do every single day, you will be able to kind of look at it from a different lens and see how this applies to your business and how you could kind of implement some of these strategies in your own business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's start things up. I will add a new candidate. And right now we're in the classic Noloco interface. So new candidate. And we have our little AI assisted import. As you can see, there's no manual like type in the first name, last name. All I have to do is just pop in a CV in here. And here we go. I'll just add this guy in. All of this, of course, is fictional, but it's as realistic as possible. So let's start things up. Now, the way that Vision works, at least for now, for those who are maybe not super familiar with it, the API can only take in JPEGs. So right now, what the system is doing behind the scenes, I'm going to talk about scenarios and make in a short minute. It is converting our PDF into JPEGs. If it's a one-page PDF, it's one page. As you can see now, it's processed the first page because it's a two-page PDF. We open it up, it looks something like this. Very typical CV. And he's also got a second page. So now it's processing that. And once it's finished making the document into JPEGs, it will actually start taking those JPEGs and analyzing and extracting data from them. We will see that data pop through in this long CV tag. Now, this is there we go, AI processing done. That basically means that we've got the data in. And there's just a lot of data here, which is great. What the system is now doing, it's enriching the candidate profile based on all of this data. So the theory is that you use this to extract text, and then you use ChatGPT 4.5 Turbo, the latest one, the one that can take 100 something, 123K tokens, big one, the latest one. And it's using that data in order to enrich the candidate profile, like it has done right now. So it has successfully printed the name, didn't find the age, found the location, found the email, found the phone, found the LinkedIn, and now it's also tagging this for us. And it has tagged this guy as a California candidate, marketing sector, sales, and LA candidate because he's in Los Angeles. So with one fell swoop, all I had to do, I just had to upload a PDF, and within a few seconds, as we saw, all the data has been populated. You can do the same thing with any kind of contract. You can do the same thing with invoices, for instance, or bank statements. So yeah, there's infinite applications of this. But what I wanted to showcase is how easy it is to just pop a PDF in, let Noloco do its thing. Also, a little plug for Noloco here. Noloco GraphQL layer, chef's kiss. Honestly, as you saw, I didn't have to refresh my page at all. You could see the messages trickling in terms of the updates. So very, very, very cool for our kind of work, where UX and UI are very, very important and can be a make or break sort of thing. So yeah, what's the next thing? The next thing is to match this candidate to jobs. Again, all I have to do is just press a button, and behind the scenes, what the system is doing, it's taking this long list of CV extracted data. It's taking a look at our jobs and what each job entails in terms of responsibilities and qualifications, the location, and it's trying to match, it's trying to see who would be the best possible match for this job. So again, we have our little message here, starting AI matchmaking process, processing recommendations, and we're ready. And immediately we can see that it has given us one recommendation for this guy. And also he is the best possible match for that particular job. I think something happened with the camera. Not sure what.
Yeah, you look a little frozen.
Sorry about that,
But,
guys.
well, so
But
that's
go
really
on.
impressive, Alex. So you've managed to, not only create a system that automatically extracts all of the data from a PDF, in this case a CV. You've then kind
Mhm.
of you've automatically kind of tagged it based on the kind of job that you're trying to do. In this case, you know, extract tags like, whether it's an LA candidate or a
Mhm.
California candidate.
Yep.
Interestingly, like, there's overlap in those two, so it's not like just choose one. It finds all of the relevant tags. And then you've gone even a step further to kind of actually match that candidate to your jobs database, which I'm really excited to see or to explain to everyone how you've actually done
Yeah.
that. Peeking behind the curtain on this one is going to be very interesting.
Okay. Cool. Sure. I mean, maybe
I don't, yeah,
start.
if you want to carry on with what you were going to show, I just mean
Sure. Sure. Sure.
in a moment.
Uh,
Yeah.
so okay, let's begin with the easy stuff. So tags. The most interesting thing about the way that this tagging system works is that there's an embedded AI logic to every tag. By the way, I apologize for the video feed. My camera just decided to die.
No problem at all.
So the tags have an embedded AI logic. So this is a very, like a year ago, this kind of thing would have been a little bit difficult to do. Where I want to apply certain tags, I just have a simple list of tags, and uh, typically the client wants a certain tag to be applied under certain conditions because that's how their active campaign instance works, or that's how their MailChimp works, or they need to tag because they rely on tags for their reporting. So in my case, what we're basically doing is we're giving the system, let me just find, make scenario so that I can explain it in context. There we go. So what we're doing in Make, and again, hopefully everybody's familiar with Make, but in a nutshell, what is happening is that I'm getting my full list of tags, all of them, and then I'm passing them through a prompt over here that simply matches the candidate data, all of it, like the full CV text, that huge amount of text.
Mhm.
And one by one, it checks the AI logic of that particular tag and then provides me with a yes or no, whether or not that tag should be applied or not, and then gives me a reason for that decision. Basically, I'm just giving it a mission, decide whether or not this tag is applicable or not. And again, I think we have my friend George Houston over here in the crowd. He's a much like orders of magnitude pump that I am. He told me from day one, Alex, you have to pump up the system. You have to make sure that AI feels great about itself. So he's giving me that advice.
It does seem to work.
Yeah, it does need to work.
Yeah, so you tell the AI it's an expert in something, and you give it
Exactly,
a persona, and
exactly,
it knows what to
exactly.
work from. Yeah.
And it seems to really that sort of thing. And yeah, essentially, we're passing it through a little filter here where I'm making sure that the choices, like the responses that we gain,
Yeah.
contain a yes. So in this case, no. And the method was applying this tag to a candidate who's located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it said, no, the candidate is located in Los Angeles, not Las Vegas, Nevada.
Very good.
Therefore, it didn't pass the filter. Therefore, it never got added to Airtable.
Very cool.
Um, so that's tagging. And
Mhm.
that's kind of like
Bef-
the easy part.
Yeah.
Darragh?
But I was going to say, before we kind of jump into how all of this is done, maybe we can take a step back and go back to Noloco and just kind of
Sure.
explain to everyone how, or maybe even, how did this get kicked off? So you uploaded the file. Let's go back to that kind of screen
Yeah,
for a
sure.
moment. Yeah, you uploaded a file. And what happened then? How did that
Awesome.
file upload end up match or extracting all that data? How did it end up
Over
kicking off
here.
this whole
Yeah,
process? Yeah.
fantastic. So step by step, then as soon as I upload a PDF, that gets uploaded, well, initially to Noloco's GraphQL layer, but by extension into Airtable. I've used and I'm a huge fan of Noloco's workflows. Why? Because they are, first and foremost, lightning fast. The moment you do something in Noloco, that will trigger uh, quicker than you can switch tabs to go into Make to see what has happened, honestly. So we have a simple little workflow here. As soon as a candidate record is created, we trigger a webhook, this particular webhook, which triggers our initial process, which is this one. And what this does, again, because we don't have a, a candidate at that point, all we have is just a PDF, we need to process it in, like I already explained, in two ways. The first way, we need to turn it into JPEG. So here we're using the convert API to split the PDF into pages and then turn each page into a JPEG, store that in Airtable. The next path, the next thing that we need to do is we actually take that record, take that split JPEG bundle, and we pass it through ChatGPT Vision. At this point, like I've given it a very prompt, which, by the way, I use ChatGPT to create the prompt itself. So that's an
Offered
interesting
out for
little
you.
tip
Brilliant.
because we are not, as humans, not always great at everything. So I asked ChatGPT to come up with a prompt itself that I used here and tweaked a little bit as I was testing. Another interesting little point, if you guys are going to use this, if somebody finds this useful, uh, don't try to give it too many pages at all at the same time. Good idea doesn't work, at least not yet. It is much better to feed it one JPEG at a time, extract the data, and as you can see, I've got scanned PDF page, the bundle, and then the page summary. And if we take a look at our record, you'll see that it has these sections. You see scanned PDF page 1 out of 2, and then somewhere down here we should see number 2. There it is. So basically, what we're asking ChatGPT is to take a look at that JPEG, extract as much information from it, try to make as much sense out of it as it can,
Yeah.
as a human would, and then just create a big text, push that text into Airtable and Noloco, which this is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm literally taking that bundle of text and pushing it into Noloco, which also immediately updates Airtable. There's something more interesting at play here. So the next process, which is the enrichment, the candidate enrichment process, that starts again from a workflow, manual process of a candidate. And hold on, sorry, automatic
Automatic.
candidate enrich. So what this is, and I actually, when we were talking about this yesterday with Darragh, I didn't know this was the case, or maybe I've forgotten from all the projects that we've done. But most interesting thing that happens, at least to me, is that when we are actually pushing this data to Noloco, there is like a little NLC parse button, which is just a Boolean, right? But I'm updating this value from the API, yet the background workflow automation notices that change. And we're not talking about Airtable automations here at all. This is all Noloco. So it's not like I have to manually jump into that certain Noloco and press a button. The API can trigger that workflow, which is really cool.
So what you've got there is you've got a field on that candidate table called what was it called? NLC process.
NLC parse or something. There it is.
Yeah, NLC parse. So you're just updating that once you've extracted all of the text from the document, right?
Yeah,
and then
I'm
that's triggering
pushing
the
it back.
workflow in Noloco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's kicking off sending another webhook to start another workflow, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
So it's starting the next one, which is this one, the candidate enrichment process. And again, I'm just starting the candidate enrichment process and I'm using Make. But if you so wish to, you could also use Noloco's own ChatGPT modules to do basically the same thing. So the way that you would do it using Noloco would be exactly the same way. You know, as soon as the NLC parse field is updated, we first send a question or instruction to ChatGPT and we give it the long text that we just extracted, response and desired formatting, the first and last name, and the task is extract the first and last name from this text. Another step, and I think you see where I'm going. Candidate age, extract it from the long text. Location of candidate, extract it from the long text. Until you run out of variables and you finally need to create one final action where you're matching in your field, in your candidates table, the responses that you've gathered from the previous 3 or 4 or 5 steps, whatever that was.
Yeah.
So you could easily do it, and it works fairly well. It's just that I'm kind of, I prefer Make. That's how I like to do it. So yeah, that is how you would do this within Noloco. In Make, just so that everybody's like covered. Okay, how you do this in Make. In Make, we have one basic process, which is essentially this little part over here. You can almost disregard this bottom bit because that is only for the cases where the long text doesn't exist for some reason. So essentially, the crucial part that does exactly what I've showcased here, the Noloco style, the Make style of the same thing would be to give the transform a text to a structured data module for ChatGPT. You give it the long text, you give it a basic prompt, analyze the above text and such, and then you create little first name, the first name of the candidate, its data type text, last name, age of candidate, and a little bit of a description. And I'm also telling you that if you don't find it, simply output NA. So yeah, that's all I did here. Candidate location.
So these are ChatGPT functions, right? I was wondering if
these are ChatGPT functions, exactly.
Yeah, and they kind of skip over a lot of the stuff you were showing us earlier, where you kind of tell it how to output it because you're telling it how to output it in a slightly different way. And it guarantees it to be correct.
You know what? Guarantee is
guarantee is a very strong word. Yeah,
is a strong word. But what it typically does, it's honestly, I use it when I get bored of the typical prompt style, like this prompt style where you give a message, like you give the role system. So when I get a little bit tired of this, just for fun, I honestly just use the structured data because 9 times out of 10, I need to extract some kind of structured data in order to populate my databases in a very clean manner. So just like I did with my in my workflow in Noloco, I'm doing exactly the same thing in Make, where I'm just mapping name, age, every single one of these variables that I get from ChatGPT back into Noloco, update my processing fields, and as they say, Bob's your uncle. The next thing, the next step in the process is the tag matching thing that I've already kind of explained. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Uh,
I think now might be a great time to just kind of pause and
yeah.
see if anybody has any questions. Alex, you've covered a lot of ground. So again, as a summary, we'll take a few questions now, and then we'll jump back into the rest of the demo where Alex can kind of dive even deeper into how bits of this are done. So if anyone does have any questions, throw them in the Q&A section, and I can answer them just now. As a recap, what Alex has done is he's created an Airtable base that has candidate profile data, so candidates, jobs, and tags that he wants to extract for each candidate. From with that Airtable base, he's created an app in Noloco, and that Noloco app has a page for each candidate. It has a form for creating a new candidate, and has a page for each job. And when you create a new candidate, it kicks off a workflow using Noloco Workflows that kicks off a scenario in Make that extracts all the data. Then once the data is extracted, he uses it to tag the candidates with the tags that we mentioned earlier. And then we dive into the matching, which we haven't fully explained yet, but I know we will in just a minute. So if anyone does have any questions, yeah, fire them in the chat. Otherwise, we can keep going if you want. I'll give it one more minute for a question to come through. Everyone seems pretty content at the moment. Oh, sorry. Let's see if we do have a question come through. Have you tested whether GPT data analysis is more accurate on PDFs than Vision is on JPEGs?
Victor, great question. Haven't tested it.
No. Yeah, I
Haven't
was
tested it
surprised
yet.
actually when you told me yesterday that you are converting the PDFs, which are quite rich, to JPEGs, which are quite, well, flat. But I know why, and it's ChatGPT Vision works on JPEGs or PNGs. So I can see why you would do that for consistency. But I imagine, Victor, you could just like skip that Vision step and just extract the text with a PDF text extractor and kind of get maybe be a bit faster, maybe it wouldn't, but you might be able to do that. At the end of the day, it just adds an extra branch to your make scenario, right? And it's almost easier to just stick everything through the one flow, isn't that right, Alex? Great question,
Yeah.
Victor. Great question. Anyone else have any questions before we continue? No. Cool. All right. Yeah, Alex.
Okay.
What are you showing us next?
All right. So the next thing is matching. And matching is kind of very similar in nature to matching tag. Like if you think about it, how different is it matching a tag to a candidate versus matching a job to a candidate? It's almost the same thing. Also, think about it. The applications to this are endless. Real estate, matching properties, buyers to sellers, matching, let's say somebody's in the car sale, or like, let's say you want to match a buyer who's looking for a specific type of car um, to to the car that you have in stock. Um, so yeah, the process is very, very similar. The idea behind it, again, we're creating our, in this case, where we are matching the candidate to the jobs, to the vast, like one candidate trying to apply it to a job, to multiple jobs, we just simply get the candidate's profile, which is again triggered by the process in Noloco, match candidate to jobs. That triggers a workflow, which is I believe this one. Yep. And what happens then is that we very quickly get all the data from that candidate into a nice little text file. Then we get all of our jobs and bundle some basic things about these jobs. The job ID, the Airtable job ID, the company name, the location, the responsibilities, and the qualifications for that job. And we create a big text file like so. And we give Chat GPT both of these things, the candidate, the available jobs. We specify the example for formatting the answers. It's important to note that you might have, in this case, multiple choices, right? You might have one match, two matches, three matches, whatever. And you see I've specified that each match should be separated by a hashtag, because later on I need to actually split that message content by the hashtag. So once that's done, the only thing that's left in the prompt is to basically just specify that, yes, dude, use the hashtag. And then finally, we're just giving, the match the candidate and give us the reasons why you're matching that specific candidate. From there, we're very quickly updating our system using, again, Noloco's GraphQL layer. We're just processing a quick little update. You might be asking, ooh, Alex, why aren't you using the pink style modules? So the pink style modules, they bring a lot of data in. They are good, but in the case where you are on speed, because I want my user to get as quick as possible, like the notifications about things happening in the system. I would say that 80 to 90% of the time I'm using basic HTTP call to the GraphQL layer. They have been historically a little bit quicker. If you need to do this update occasionally, not such a mission critical thing, Noloco's own modules are perfect. They won't fail.
Alex likes to go the pro way, and speed is important. But yeah, for everyone else, you can just hook up the Noloco module as you would with any other modules, and you gives you the full point and click version of what Alex is doing with the blue HTTP request version.
True. So yeah, all I'm doing is splitting my packages, splitting the bundle, so to speak, and then searching for that particular combo of job and candidate, because I don't want to be matching them again and again and again. And yeah, if that combo of job and candidate does not exist, then we go ahead and we first create a Noloco record. Then I'm updating that record very quickly with some more complicated data in Airtable because it's a little bit easier. And then I take that record that just got created, updated in Airtable, and I'm printing a little sneaky timestamp. Now, what that does is it refreshes Noloco. So I've added all the difficult data, and when I say difficult, I mean the record ID of these people, of the job itself and the candidate, because otherwise I would have to create more modules and it would be a little bit less efficient. So all I'm doing here is I'm basically, working behind the scenes and then telling Noloco, hey, there's something new. And that, hey, there's something new is just a little timestamp that gets printed into a text field. And that immediately refreshes Noloco. From there, what else? From there, we just have another final update of the system where we're just basically telling it, hey, all good, AI matching complete. And the same thing happens for the other way around. It's a very similar process, almost identical. When you're trying to map a job, one job, and trying to find the correct list of candidates for that job. Basically, the same process, just reversed in terms of what
You
kind
didn't
of
show us that
data.
process actually, did you?
No. But it's very, 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 very similar because, like, if you compare the two prompts,
Yeah, I
um,
can see that.
there is one prompt that has a candidate and available jobs, and the other prompt is job requirement, candidate.
Yeah,
And the payload, again, the formatting of the answer is exactly the same. The mission is exactly the same, just slightly tweaked to say that it's one job, find me the candidate. And yeah, again, splitting it, creating a Noloco, almost you can call it a dummy Noloco record, which creates an Airtable record, by the way, but enrich it with Airtable, refresh it in Noloco, and the user on the front end has a very, very clean, quick, snappy experience.
yeah. And then you've got some pretty nice but like other action buttons there I see as well. They can reprocess the CV and refresh the
Yeah,
enrichment. They're just, I assume they're action buttons that call the same workflows again, I assume.
exactly. Bingo. They
Yeah.
and I can and most likely you can imagine because when it comes to TV, sometimes I'll notice that AI just pick up absolutely everything. Um, so yeah, you can reprocess the CV just by having the same workflow as you created here, manual process of
Brilliant.
candidates. It's literally the
Very
same
nice.
thing, same webhook, just like we had in the beginning, K4 MOX, K4 MOX. So
Brilliant.
the same thing, just to cover ourselves. Same thing with refresh and rich. So just in case it didn't pull absolutely everything that it possibly could, you can just
Yeah.
refresh the enrich. Or another interesting use case for this would be, oh, I've got a refresh CV. I've got a new CV from this guy. Press edit, swap this
Delete the
out,
CV.
delete the CV, press refresh and reprocess CV. It will go through the whole thing again, and it
Brilliant.
will update this person's bio.
It's very nice. Very cool. I think now that you've kind of shown everyone uh how it more or less works, I mean that's obviously high level, but you've kind of walked everyone through it. Would it be interesting to kind of show another candidate go through the process just so everyone can
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
visualize the yeah, the kind of the different automations running?
Um, okay, I don't know if I can catch them all, but let's try. So
No,
the
I don't even
whole
mean like that. Just like literally in the Noloco interface.
oh, no, no, no interface.
It could be interesting to see the two, but even just kind of watching it
We
again
can, we
and
can.
you can explain what's
So
happening.
we've done Peyton, and let's do another one. So I'm gonna upload that CV. Jordan Martini.
Yeah,
Open
the
this guy
CV
up.
is really different. I was
Oh
amazed by
yeah,
the
that's
stage there.
also that's also an interesting little point. Let me point this out. So Peyton's resume looks like this.
Yeah, we saw that one.
You can
Yeah,
see how that looks like.
nice and structured.
Jordan,
He cares
nice
about
and
design.
structured. Jordan, not so much.
Jordan tried a
Uh,
notepad somewhere and wrote some things down.
yeah, exactly. So let's do Jordan CV. Press save.
Yeah, I like how you've used the help text here to give the recruiters an idea of what's accepted and how and
Exactly.
what's going to happen. It's nice.
The most interesting thing is that this whole system was probably built within like 4 or 5 hours.
Wow,
Um,
that was
and
actually going to be one of my questions.
And this test, when I started working on this process, I actually asked ChatGPT to give me this to add a description of the field, and it did.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we need a ChatGPT integration inside here, right? Oh my God, look, there it goes.
so now, as you can see, it's analyzing each JPEG one at a time. It's updating Noloco with where's Jordan? It's updating
Mm.
it with the page that it has processed, 1 out of 2. There we go. Now it has finished its process, and it should kickstart the next one, this one. Come on, baby. There we go.
Nice. Wow.
So
Speedy.
that is saying enriching candidate profile, and it's taking that big text and extracting first name, last name, email, phone, all of that stuff. It's gonna shortly update Noloco. Where is it? Ah, I'm lost. There it is.
This one, yeah.
So yeah, that's taking time. There we go. Updated
Wow, nice.
Noloco. Profile enrichment. It's too
Brilliant. It's
fast.
so fast, isn't it?
It's too fast. So it
Yeah,
has
nice.
extracted all of that stuff, and now it's doing the tagging thing. So it's taking one tag at a time and processing it, and making sure that that tag is applicable or not.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And we should see tagging being done. And we've got that AI assisted tagging starting up. There we go. And there's a tag.
Brilliant.
California, marketing, sales, LA, and IT sector. So this guy has done stuff, basically. So
It's very
yeah,
cool. It's very
that
cool. I
was
love how to use the map as well.
yeah, I wanted to make it a little bit more sexy. So yeah,
It's
just
done a great
using a
job.
quick little embed uh, the location, basically simple
Yeah,
formula, a little
of
string
course.
for Google Maps, and code the location.
Oh, I didn't realize
And
you could do that
out,
with the location there. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, it doesn't have to be like this is the location. Really, it's not
Hmm.
anything fancy. It's not a lat long or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So yeah, and that immediately, if you use a iframe module in Noloco, you can just tap that in. Let me just show you how I've done that. Although it's a little bit, uh, uh, you know, cheeky, but it's really straightforward. This
yeah.
is
It's nice.
a iframe module, type data, map embed location. So you literally embed this little field, and voila, and this is what it looks like.
Brilliant. That was so fast. Honestly, I'm still blown away by this whole process. Um, we've only a few minutes left, so does anyone have any other questions? I know I have a few for sure, and there's one or two building up there. But yeah, if you do have any questions, throw them in the Q&A section or the chat. We can get to them. I have a question, Alex. So
Yeah.
do you have any idea of how much this costs? I mean, like it sounds probably like it's expensive, but I guess if you compare it to the time it would take for any individual to one extract all that data into like fields like this. I mean, that's probably why recruiters make you fill in all these forms yourself, right? But
Okay.
I imagine that a lot of them just get CVs as well and or LinkedIn profiles and they have to fill in a lot of this information themselves. Um,
So to
it's
answer your
always going to be cheaper
question,
than human labor, but do you have an idea of how much it costs?
yes, I do have an idea. So it is much cheaper than you think. Much cheaper in the realm of that. So
Yeah,
maybe since yesterday, I have processed maybe 50, 60 applications, just testing, making sure that it's nice. I believe I've used up about $3 worth of
wow.
tokens.
Yeah,
Um, because we're using specifically for Turbo, the cost per thousand token is 1 cent. So it's
right.
very cheap. 3.5 is even cheaper.
Yeah.
So there we're talking like you can really process a lot, a lot, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So
Um,
anyone not super familiar with what a token is, it's what they call about a word. So, death might be a
Yeah.
token, but like,
It's about.
yeah, application might be like 2 tokens. It's kind of a bit vague, but it's a short word basically. So, a CV would have definitely have fewer than 1,000 tokens in and of itself. But then you combine the prompt and stuff, you might be pushing up against that 1,000 token. But then again, that's 1 cent. No matter even you opening up the CV to view it in a PDF reader will probably cost you 1 cent in your time, right? So
Yeah. Well,
a lot of savings here for sure.
just last weekend, we were launching a big marketing campaign for a client of mine, with like a live seminar thing kicking off and a lot of very complicated scenarios and opt-ins and click funnels and all of this sort of thing. So to clean up approximately 3,000 attendees, in other words, make sure that they're tagged properly, that they are um, that they're in the right lists in the right system, be that an SMS system, be that a emailing system like ActiveCampaign, for instance.
Yeah,
It cost us $20, $30 to.
that's crazy.
Okay, we used like two million tokens, 3 million tokens, something like that. But you know what? I can't imagine what kind of stress we would have if we didn't use it. And the campaign was a success just
Yeah,
because of that.
that's crazy. Um, well, time for a few more questions if anyone does have them. I guess like Alex, I'd love to know what are you most excited about in kind of AI and no code? You're doing this each and every day. What you've demoed here today is probably one of my favorite uses of it so far. Just kind of seeing it end to end like this. But is there anything else interesting you've done? Anything else you'd like to call out, or why you're most kind of
Mhm.
excited about in the space?
Well, I would say, okay, I'm excited about uh, custom GPTs.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
that is, I feel, the next level in no code.
yeah,
It's still kind of early, but custom GPTs, in the next 5, 6 months, I think we're gonna see something really, 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 really incredible happening there. It's almost like, we've started to talk with a robot. Now we are talking in a sense to our documents.
hmm,
Um, I feel the chat like custom GPTs is going to be like talking to our work.
yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
a, it's a,
They're
it's
not
a,
they're not yet available via Make and API, are they?
I'm not super sure.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
don't think
don't
so.
quote me
I
on that.
think
I don't
once
think
they
so.
are, there's going to be a lot of opportunity around this,
Yeah.
custom
Um,
chatbots, having GPTs trained on recruitment data, or for this example, just you can preload a lot more context into them that way,
yeah.
which probably saves you a lot of money as well. So
Yeah.
very
I'm
cool.
also excited. I'm also excited about the sort of like the builders who are just getting into no code now at this stage, and
Yeah,
they didn't have to go through the hell that some of us who've been here for the last 6, 7, 10 years,
yeah,
um, where where it was incredibly difficult to just like tag people intelligently. You have to come up with conventions and please make sure that you input your data in such and such a way so that it can fit our system.
hmm,
So yeah, I'm excited about these guys um, having an easier life.
yeah. No, that's for sure. It's such a time to enter any
Sure.
ecosystem really, but definitely the no code ecosystem. There's such parallels with AI. It's amazing. We have one last question actually coming in again from Victor. Uh, does the AI matching make a qualitative judgment about whether the data is good, or does it just compare data points? So they're trying to think if you could extract the data with AI and then handle the matching inside Noloco using filters. Yeah, well, sure, I can say it again if you want.
Yeah, please say that again.
So yeah, basically Victor's asking you, does it make a qualitative judgment?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Which
So
yeah,
short answer is yes. Imagine
yeah,
a human having judgment. Um, it 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 does it doesn't just like compare data points in that
right.
sense. It
But
takes
I
into
think here's the nice
consideration.
part.
Yeah.
The nice part is that it also extracts what you've done also extracts the data
Oh
points.
yeah.
So you could do it based on filters if you wanted.
Mhm.
You can add you have
Exactly.
a page here that can filter candidates in Los Angeles that are sales people,
You could
not you
filter it
haven't
by
added the
tag,
filters, but
right?
exactly
You
right.
can create a filter and you can filter by tag, but how
Yeah.
those tags got there is important.
Is AI based. Yeah, exactly. So I think a bit of both, and I think that's the nicest part about this solution. As you kind of brought up in the beginning, um, bringing human in the loop into AI is fantastic. So it's kind of like you're not entirely passing all judgment over to the AI. You're getting the data points that backed up the AI decision as well, so you can override it, I presume. I mean, you can do whatever you really
Yeah,
want here, but
absolutely.
it's saving you a lot of time, bringing, in this case, the best candidates to the top, and also kind of saving you a heap of time on the document extraction. Even if it was just that, I think that's gonna save a lot of people a lot of time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so impressed with how effective that is. Um, well, I think that's all we have time for. Um, Alex, what do you have anything else you want to add? Do you have anywhere you want to? How can people find you and get in touch with
Um,
Sonrous?
you can find us on sonrous.co.uk or sonorous.consulting.com. No, that's basically it. It's been
Yeah,
a
brilliant.
pleasure once
Yeah,
again to do the second webinar.
yeah.
Uh,
No, we'll do it again
so
soon, I'm sure. Alex also has some great YouTube videos on AI, no code, make all these sort of things. So if you enjoyed this, do check it out. Yeah, he's got some
there,
fantastic stuff. Yeah,
there's a whole heap. And in fact, what I explained today is going to go in a more, like step by step video, I
brilliant.
think
That's
tomorrow.
going to help so many people.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, if you want to check out the YouTube channel, it is all dedicated. At least the last three
Mhm.
to 6 months of content have been AI for real estate, AI for something
Yeah.
ing, AI
No,
for
it's been fantastic. You keep
notification.
coming up on my TV in my home and in my living room. Um, that's how you know you've made it. Well, listen, thanks everyone for joining in today. We won't be having another webinar in 2023. So this was the last one, obviously. But we'll be back again. I don't actually have the date, but it's probably the kind of, let me just quickly check. The No, not the 3rd. Yeah, probably the 17th of January will be our next webinar. So looking forward to seeing you all then. If you have any questions for Alex, you know where to find him. If you have any questions for me, you always know where to find me as well. You can find us in the chat or support at noloco.io. And if you like what you see today and you haven't yet signed up to Noloco, please do. You can sign up at noloco.io. So thanks everyone and see you all next